What are some things to keep in mind to have culturally responsive sessions, presentations, workshops, webinars that are not on a social justice topic? Love it. I have some blogs on my website you can pop on. It's kind of part 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And if you go through my blogs, they're probably the first ones that listed. It was, again, work that I did through LCY Cross Associates with Bo Razak and some other folk. We were asked to work with the entire training division of a corporation. It was 100,000, 150,000 people to help them think, how do you infuse equity inclusion and skill people up in all kinds of workshops? And so we had 4 levels, and I write about them, 1 per blog. And everything's from do no harm. I'm pretty sure that's the first one. Include breadth of differences and do no harm. So that means recognize your stories, your graphics, the scenarios you use, make sure that there's many different representation. Look at your graphics to make sure you're not replicating stereotypes. Look at your scenarios and make sure you're not having all the missteps be whites and all the folks coming in to intervene be folk of color, all the missteps be men, etc. I would do kind of a 70-30 because privileged groups were often the ones making missteps, but not always. So you want to show also some ally behavior. And then there are a couple more layers. So pull together whoever does these. HR, if you've got a training department, if you're in an organization where it's just people volunteer to do it, pull them together. And this could be, again, time management, stress management, budgeting. You can infuse equity inclusion so well into budgeting workshops. So whatever the workshop is, pull everybody together, maybe with some pre-work, which says, come with, I would do 5, knowing that we're in 2. Come with 5 examples of how you already help the organization think about diversity, equity, inclusion as you're teaching whatever you're teaching. Especially communication skills, conflict, or just incredible places that we can do better. But start with strengths. Have them maybe share that early in a facilitated meeting, working session, where they share, and I'd frame it as, we're about to share these in small groups. Write down anything you hear that you can use from each other, and write down any questions you're like, well, what would you do if? And then I would just spend the time, do what would you do if? Pre-work would also be bring 3 situations or types of ways you teach that you're like, how could I be more inclusive? And so I might do the first session where we're just helping each other think it through and trust that the learning is coming kind of backfilled. This group may want to go on 0 to 10, how capable are we to infuse it into everything we do? And they may say, I think we're a 3. So then what workshops might we want to have to recognize breadth of difference, privileged, marginalized, but I'd have them be working sessions. It probably comes back to ego. That I want people to realize they have colleagues they can go to that are wise and can help you see things, especially from different group identities, and that we can all learn together. We all have privilege, all marginalization. We all have to figure this out together. And then if you're in there with a co-facilitator adding in, that's more my style. Again, as I mentioned earlier, I would start with, I give them one of my designs, maybe an early one, but maybe a current one. Just maybe a couple activities, homework, either before the first time this group comes together or in between, and say, critique this and help me see what I'm not seeing, so that you're modeling, you're open to feedback, and you don't know everything, and what else could I do? Minimally, you can just say, here are 10 scenarios. What groups were included, which ones aren't? Are there any unconscious stereotypes that I didn't recognize? So have them critique some of your materials. That'll help them, might be willing to then share theirs for critique and improvement. And then get your leaders to require this. So it's not just a grassroots, but have your folks in leadership say, this is our strategic plan, we're moving here, and we want all trainings to integrate the capacity to infuse equity inclusion to everything. And so we want every workshop skilling people up.